Can practicing gratitude really help us to manage our symptoms? In today's video, we're going to look at what the research says. I'll share how I practice gratitude, and I'm going to share tips that can help you to develop a practice of gratitude. I'll put these tips in a free handout that you can download too. It's fall, and we're heading towards Thanksgiving here in the States. And I've been thinking a lot about gratitude and how it helps me. Did you know that practicing gratitude can change our brains and support good health? It's true. Practicing gratitude, regularly focusing on all we have to be grateful for and all the positive parts of our life is powerful and can change our health. In a recent study on gratitude, where the participants practiced gratitude for 6 weeks, they found some really interesting results. The participants in the study had low to moderate levels of well-being, which many people with MS and chronic illness have as well. Up to 50% of people with MS suffer from depression. The gratitude exercises included things like writing in a gratitude diary, taking a new perspective, expressing gratitude, appreciating good things and grateful memories, expressing gratitude for misfortune, and having a gratitude attitude. The participants were instructed to spend 15 minutes on 5 of the 7 days of the week doing mainly written gratitude exercises, reflecting on general appreciation for living standards, talents or possessions, appreciation for others, such as how friendly or supporting others have been for them, and answering questions that trigger reflection about cultivating gratitude. For example, what did you feel when practicing the gratitude exercises this week? What did it mean for your daily activities? During and after the test, they were asked to answer questions about well-being, depression, anxiety, generic dispositional gratitude, and mood. The results of the study suggest that a 6-week gratitude intervention is an effective, low-intensity intervention for enhancing mental well-being and the sustained effects of mental well-being. Appreciation of simple pleasures up to 6-month follow-up suggests that it is possible to promote appreciative and grateful perspective on life that becomes a lasting resource for living a resilient, joyful, and meaningful life. How cool is that? Do any of you want a more resilient, joyful, and meaningful life? Yeah, me too. They also mentioned that some other research on practicing gratitude was shorter, sometimes only a week or two. Doing something for a week or two rarely results in lasting change. At least for me, it doesn't. But if we commit to a new practice for a number of weeks, perhaps we can make lasting changes. When I look back at my health journey, I can see areas where it took me a long time to build some of the health habits that I have now. It took time, but they became easier, and now they're really habits. I don't even have to think about them. They're just part of my normal day. Many of the previous studies also included participants that felt well at the start of the study, so they didn't see big results because they were already starting at a pretty good place. I think it was smart that this study started with participants that had low to moderate levels of well-being. In another article on the health benefits of having a regular gratitude practice, they found that it could help with promoting good health, reducing pain, improving sleep, helping us to build social connections, and enhancing productivity. Many of us with MS or chronic illness struggle with all of these things, and they can affect not only our health, but our relationships and our ability to work. So, how does practicing gratitude help? Part of it is the hormones. Our brains release cortisol when we're anxious or stressed or scared. Feelings of gratitude can regulate cortisol production in our brains and reduce anxiety and stress. When we live with chronic illness, there can be a lot of anxiety and stress. We're dealing with symptoms and medication side effects, and we worry about the future. And we're doing this while we're trying to keep up with the day-to-day demands of life. Not only does gratitude regulate the stress hormones, it can trigger the brain to release neurotransmitters and hormones associated with happiness, including dopamine and serotonin. These are natural antidepressants and produce feelings of contentment and pleasure. I do guided meditation each morning, and they oftentimes focus on things to be grateful for. and I generally feel more content and happier when I'm done. Our cells are listening to our thoughts. Everything we think, we can feel. When we think negative thoughts, we can feel physically bad. When we think good thoughts, we can feel physically good. Our thoughts and behaviors affect our biology. They can change us physically. One of the things that I found fascinating when I was reading information on MS drugs when I was choosing my medication was how a certain percentage of the control group, the people that were getting placebos, had fewer relapses. These people thought they were being treated. They thought they were getting the drugs, and their bodies responded. Our thoughts are powerful. Another mindfulness exercise that I do is to take several mindful breaths each day before I get out of bed and then when I get back into bed. Recently, I've been purposefully smiling when I do it. The simple change of adding a smile to my face makes me happier and helps me to think of happy thoughts. Let's try an experiment right now. I want you to take a moment and think of one thing you're grateful for. Just one. Now close your eyes and put a smile on your face and take a couple of deep breaths while thinking of that one thing. How do you feel? Do you notice the difference? Let me know in the comments. I've been listening to Brene Brown's audiobooks recently, and in her research, she found that practicing gratitude invites joy into our lives. Those that had a tangible gratitude practice, such as having a gratitude journal or regularly speaking out loud things they were grateful for, like saying grace at mealtimes, were more joyful. I'll put links to some of her books in the description below. I highly recommend listening to them on audiobooks because she has a wonderful and engaging way of speaking. There's a quote from a Jesuit priest, David Steidl Rast, that says, "It's not joy that makes us grateful, it's gratitude that makes us joyful." So, how do we start a gratitude practice? There are several ways we can do this. It can be a simple daily reminder on our calendar to stop for a moment and reflect on something that we're grateful for. We can journal daily and include a sentence or two of things we're grateful for. I recently started using the Day One app, and it has a free version that I'll link below. There are several apps out there that you can use, or we can buy a paper journal and keep it in a spot where we're likely to see it and use it daily, perhaps on a nightstand or where we sit to drink our morning coffee. My husband and I have also done a gratitude jar in the past. We each had a large jar on our nightstands, and starting on January 1st, we would write down one thing we were grateful for that day and put it in the jar. Then on New Year's Eve the following year, we took out all of the notes and read them together. It was a fun way to see how great our year was and how much we had to be grateful for. This is also a great holiday gift idea. Buy a large jar in a small pad or a cube of paper and include instructions. Make sure to do it yourself too. Then plan to get together at the end of the year and review the notes together. There are also programs to help us get started with our gratitude practice. The Mayo Clinic has a free month-long self-guided virtual program to help start a journaling gratitude practice. It sends emails with resources and inspiring videos. I've added all these ideas to a free handout that you can download with a link I'll put in the description and also in the comments below to help you get started with your gratitude practice. To see more on the holistic approach to brain health, watch this video next. Until next time, be well.